Alright. One more time, it's another poker chip video. And this poker chip video is going to be a little bit different. This is, well, different in some ways. In another way, it's yet another tribute, another singing of the praises of PokerChipForum.com, the end-all, be-all site for poker chip info and knowledge. Go there right now, become a member if you're interested at all in poker chips, especially if you're interested in acquiring them. This video is about a guy named Jim, who is a vendor on PokerChipForum.com. He runs a company called The Chip Room, and Jim and The Chip Room do a very unique thing. They do something that is very different from other poker chip vendors. They're not manufacturers. They are vendors who go to casinos and they purchase actual chips from the casinos. That's right. Sometimes the casino is closing down. Sometimes the casino is rebranding. Sometimes the casino is just switching out their poker chips. And in Nevada, the Gaming Commission mandates that all the poker chips be destroyed if a casino closes down, or if a casino rebrands, or if a casino switches their chips. They are mandated by law to destroy their chips. But lots of other states, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, lots of other states, they don't have to destroy their chips. So the casinos can unload their chips on Mr. Jim for a fraction of what they're worth, so the casino recoups a little bit. Then Jim turns around and sells them to chip maniacs like us on PokerChipForum.com, and he sells them relatively cheap. These are top quality Paulsons chips. He's done a bunch of these buys, and they are great if you can get in on them. I would advise you go to PokerChipForum.com right now, sign up right now and start posting and become a part of the community, and then go to the group buy section and check it out. Find Jim and the Chip Room and what's up. As YouTube is forever, you may have missed the sale forever, but if that's the case, stick around. There's always opportunities to buy poker chips, and with Jim and the Chip Room, there's opportunities to buy Paulsons chips from casinos. These are the extraordinary Horseshoe Casino from southern Indiana, and these are their gaming chips. I am definitely going to go one by one through every single one of these chips in close-up to give you a nice view. These are the 39mm chips. They are lovely. They range from Fracks in the upper left-hand corner, 25-cent chips, and there's a tertiary $1 chip just underneath that. And then the top row of chips are the primary chips, and the bottom row are the secondary chips. All casinos have primary and secondary chips. That's in case the primaries are compromised, then they can go to the secondary, I believe. Somebody please, who's more knowledgeable than me, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. These are the oversized 43mm higher Denom chips. These are bigger and badder and more rare than the 39mm chips. When Jim does his sale, it's great. Everybody gets the same fair shot to click on the click and click on the thing and buy the chips. However, the 39mm chips that are widely available, that means the $1 chips, the $5 chips, the $25 chip, and the $100 chips, those are cheap and they are widely available and easy to get. If you want a frack, like a 25-cent chip, or if you want one of these 43mm higher denomination chips, and sometimes the 39mm $500 chips as well, these are much more rare because the chips you're seeing in front of you at one point were worth $1,000, $5,000, and $25,000 in cash. So the casino did not make a ton of them. There's a lot fewer of them. So Jim charges what I think is very fair pricing, but it is more, and they are more limited in quantity. And when you get in on the group buy sale, Jim makes it so you have to buy a certain percentage of each denomination in your purchase. In other words, you got to get a lot of 1s and a lot of 5s and a lot of 25s in order to get a full rack of these oversized chips. And even then, they're still not easy to get. But Jim is fair and democratic, and that's definitely the best way to do it. In the future, he's also likely going to sell tournament chips from this casino, but we've seen bits and pieces online. They're not the prettiest chips, but we'll see. You never know. Anyway, let's go through all of these chips one by one in close-up, yo. All right, so let's go through these chips one by one in focus. These are not the chips. These are the Jack chips, which was an earlier sale that Jim had on the Chip Room. I just wanted to show them off in close-up You can also see more of them in my poker chip video called The Most Important Thing, which is about samples. Always, always, always get samples. The jack chips are cool. I just have samples. I had a full set of jack chips on the initial sale. Never did a video, not sure why. Probably because I'm just a lazy sack. The 500s were really hard to get. In fact, I didn't get any. I just got these samples, as well as the 1K Oversized. See the little RFID chip there is cool. And there's a $5 chip, which is the prettiest jack chip. Okay, let's go through the Horseshoe, the chips that this video is about. The Southern Indiana Horseshoe chips. This is the, I believe this is the secondary frac. Let's do primary first. This is the primary frac. Fracs are typically rare and hard to get, and they are more expensive. That's the primary, and that is the secondary. Lovely chip. I definitely prefer the primary. Always like a little spot action. And we get to the $1 chips, and this one is called the Tertiary Chip. This is a third option. Huh? Kind of strange. A fairly nondescript chip, but I have seen photos of Jim's. He's putting all the chips together right now as I shoot this video, and I've seen there are dozens and dozens and dozens of these racks. So I don't think there'll be any problem getting that. Here's the primary $1 chip, and this may win the award for ugliest chip I've ever seen. Kind of looks like a piece of toilet paper with a shit stain on each end. Not my favorite, I have to say. You will very rarely hear me bag on chips, but I'm not a fan of that $1. This the secondary is much better. Probably look pretty cool in a stack, I would think. Let's move on to the snappers. Here is the primary, and the snapper, of course, is the $2.50 chip. I still have not gotten a good explanation of why they call pink $2.50 chips snappers. They just do. Something to do with blackjack, something to do with snapping off a $5 chip. That's the primary. Here is the secondary. The secondary, boy, is that salmony or what? It kind of is a big mush. Definitely prefer the primary. And we're on to the $5 chip, the workhorse chip of the poker tables. I prefer the primary, even though the people on pokerchipforum.com, the vast majority prefer the secondary, which I'm about to show you. This is the secondary. Secondary does look amazing in racks, and they have shown a bunch of racks, so should be no problem getting either of these. This one is definitely more unique, less typical. This primary, I just love the color so much, even though it's very similar to the jack and other $5 chips that we've had. On to the $25 chip. This is the primary, which is cool, but the secondary kind of wins this one, I'm afraid. That is a wild, cool chip. And we'll get to the hundos. $100 chip. Love it, love it, love it. A lot of people buy these chips, the cash chips, and try to turn them into a tournament set. It is a difficult road to go. This is the secondary. Because, as I said, the higher Denom chips are just a lot more rare and more expensive. But for a cash set, you really can't go wrong here. This is the primary 500, which is just gorgeous. Probably my favorite chip in the whole bunch. Just a beautiful chip. It just pops and is gorgeous. This is the secondary. It's also lovely. I would prefer the primary if given a choice. Now we got the 1K. This is oversized 43 millimeter. Lovely primary chip. It's orange. It's like a pumpkin. It's something. Now Paulson, of course, has official color names for all of their chips. I'm not an expert, and I don't have a Paulson color sample set. So if you want to know the exact colors here, I couldn't tell you. This is kind of butterscotch, kind of nice. This is the secondary. We get to the 5Ks. This is the primary 5K. I like it because it's silvery and metallic. You can see there is some wear on this bad boy. Not all the chips that Jim sells are mint or new. In fact, most of them are, I don't know if I'd say casino used. They're generally in really good shape. It does vary. Just be aware, you're not buying mint chips, you're buying casino chips. This I know is called the RHC, reverse hat cane, I think, the oversized 43 mil. The secondary 5K on the right, I think, is superior to the primary 5K on the left, even though the primary is kind of silvery, metallic. I love this chip, this secondary 5K. And then we have the primary granddaddy of them all, the 25K. It's amazing to think that at one point this was worth $25,000 in cash, and now it's not, and it's just a really cool chip. In fact, it's so cool, I'm going to keep it forever, and I'm going to put it in one of these airtight containers. You can find airtight containers on Amazon. They're cheap. This is a 43 millimeter airtight container, and now I have the perfect card capper that I am definitely going to use when we get back to live poker. Here is the secondary 25K. Not as impressive in my mind. I mean, look at the gold on that bastard on the left. I just love it. I love gold. Anyway, I love all these chips, and I love that you've been hanging out with me, checking out this potential great deal coming up. If you missed it, don't despair. Join PokerChipForum.com. There's always another group buy, and Jim in the chip room hopefully will be around for many years. He does a great job and is greatly appreciated by poker chip degenerates such as myself and many others. Once again, I really appreciate you watching, hanging out with me, talking poker chips. I know you all are clamoring for more home poker tournament videos. I'm going to do a video on seeding your poker chip tournaments, and then I'm also going to do a video on shuffling, training your players how to shuffle correctly at poker chip tournaments. And I'm definitely going to do an overall, big mama video that touches on everything on how to run a poker tournament in the safety and serenity of your own house. I'm definitely going to be doing that. So stay tuned for all that. Those videos take a lot longer to shoot and edit. This poker chip stuff is wham bam, thank you ma'am, easy relatively, and I enjoy it very much. Thanks for hanging out, man. I wish all of you and your loved ones the very best. Stay safe during these crazy times. Be kind to one another always. And remember, we will get back to normal. Life will go on. Every generation thinks they are the most important. We are not. Stay humble. Stay safe. Love to you all. See you next time. Peace.